Hey Leo, welcome to your weekly forecast for December 27th through January 2nd. This reading is going to be for Leo's Sun, Moon, and Rising. I am setting the intention for December 27th through January 2nd. However, you may stumble upon this video outside of that time frame, and that is perfectly fine. You're going to find this message or this video whenever you're meant to hear the messages. Keep in mind, this is a general reading for the Leo collective. Therefore, not every single message is going to resonate. Take what does, leave what doesn't. So without further ado, my lovely Leos, let's see what's going on and what messages are coming in for you. Now, the first card that you guys have coming up here is the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is very beautiful energy, right? Sometimes traditionally people can see it as like a collaboration or coming together and working with other people. But the Three of Wands always, for me, has that sense of advancement. Symbolically, this guy is supposed to be a merchant, and he has prepared his goods, and he's given them to the ships to take off to foreign markets, and he's just gonna wait and see what happens, how things pan out. So the Three of Wands has the meaning of the point of no return. You're showing up in a situation, you're putting yourself out there. Some of you might even be launching some kind of product or idea or social media or blog or YouTube channel. It could be launching something. We are coming up on January 1st here in this very week. So maybe some of you have decided that in the new year, I'm going to put such and such thing out there, right? And the Three of Wands tells us that it's going to pay off for us. And it's going to help us to see what is working, what people like, what we can do more of. And there's a positive return. Three of Wands comes in with the energy that you can't unsee what you've seen. You've come too far to turn around and go back now. And so all we can do is move forward. Move forward, but that there's positive results in that. There's a positive outcome in that. Okay? Three of Wands for me has strong entrepreneur vibes. Also, a lot of the times coming up lately, for people who are establishing, I know a lot of people are working remotely, but like for a lot of people where this is becoming more permanent, or you're realizing that, hey, there's this whole remote working market I can tap into now, right? There's a lot of jobs out there that are going to give me the ability to work from home, and I don't have to commute every day. I don't have to get on the bus. I don't have to, drive my car through traffic. I'm going to get one of those remote working jobs. And then I can work from anywhere. So I've seen Three of Wands coming up when like certain people are taking this opportunity to kind of travel or explore, right? You're still working, but you have the ability to where you can go say, I want to go check out this state, or I want to go check out this one town or this one city, or I want to go visit, back home or wherever it might be. And you can go and get an Airbnb or stay with a friend or, do whatever and still work, right? And still be able to work and experience life in different places. So I do feel some of you, Leo, might be taking advantage of this, right? Or setting up your self-employment in a way that's giving you the ability to just kind of check out different places. I am feeling a sense of exploring, travel, kind of examining and thinking about where you might want to be. Some of you within business might find yourself in a position in your career, or if you're self-employed, there could be an expansion that's giving you an opportunity to work with people in other countries. There might be some kind of expansion. And for some of you, I feel like you're going to have the ability or the opportunity for international travel here, where you might even be able to live in a different country for a part of the year, and then live wherever you have been living till now part of the year. Some of you might be working out some kind of little split residency. The next card that's coming up here for Leo is the Magician, okay? And the earth element of the Magician is going to be Virgo. The air element of the Magician is going to be Gemini. Some of you could be dealing or partnering up or collaborating with a Virgo or Gemini. If you have a Virgo or Gemini placement, there can be big changes and big shifts happening for you in those areas of your life or in those houses. Overall, this is a major arcana card. Major arcana cards are always going to come up when this is a significant new chapter in our life, where the things that we're experiencing are directly connected to the experiences we came here to have, the things we came here to learn, the things we came here to accomplish and to master. And the Magician has an element of it in terms of manifesting, as above, so below. And a lot of the times when we're in this Magician kind of energy, we will see a lot of signs. We will see angel numbers. You might be seeing the number 4, the number 7, the number 8 a lot. You might be seeing repeating numbers, right? You might be seeing 25, 25, 20. That's a big one for me. I don't know if anybody else gets 25, but that has like a significant message for me when I start seeing 25 all over the place, or I start finding quarters all over the place. Walking down the street, wherever I am, oh, surprise, surprise, there's a quarter, right? And that's giving me the message of 25, right? You might be finding pennies, you might be seeing 77, 444, you might have that 111 or 1111 thing happening a lot of the time when you're checking the time. You might be receiving these angel numbers and these messages and these repeating signs. This is Spirit's way of letting you know that you are on track, and to pay attention to where your focus is, because you're on this fast track of manifesting, and you're going to manifest things very quickly. So you want to make sure that your focus and your attention is on what you want instead of on what you don't want, okay? So a lot of you might be receiving these little confirmations from the universe, these little signs. I feel, this is really interesting, even though the Magician card, it doesn't always come up this way, I'm feeling a sense of alchemy, Leo. I feel like a lot of you are tapping into that alchemist energy. And I don't mean it quite literally, like you're going to start tinkering around and melting down metals and, you know, refining and pulling out gold. I don't mean it in terms of like working with metals. But I feel energetic alchemy. I feel like you're coming into this time where not just the Midas touch, but you're having this magical touch that you are creating opportunities out of difficulties and challenges. If you have a business, especially if it's a business that creates, I don't know if I want to say waste, but you end up with scraps. So maybe you have a business where you're designing clothing, or you're making garments. You're putting together garments, or you're, you know, making clothing, or some other physical thing, or even something having to do with cooking. And you end up with like scraps of things. I feel like you're finding a way to use these scraps and turn those into profit, right? I heard one time that KFC, a lot of people have heard of KFC, even if you're not in the United States, they have like international locations. And KFC has this popcorn chicken, which is these teeny little bits of fried chicken that are smaller than chicken nuggets, smaller than chicken tenders. They're just these tiny little crunchy chicken bites. I heard that came up from their chicken scraps. Like, you know, when they would have like little bits of chicken and things left over, they just said, hey, let's fry it and sell it. And it worked. And before, maybe they were throwing it away, right? Donut holes. right? Some people, I've heard donut holes come from somebody said, hey, you know, I've got all this leftover dough. I don't want to keep, you know, trying to mush it together. I'm just going to fry it and I'm going to sell it. So some of you might be doing something like that. You might be finding a way that you can reuse or repurpose scraps, and you're adding additional product, or you're adding additional, you know, income. Other ones of you are doing this energetically. You're finding potential that you haven't tapped into or that you haven't used. I just feel there's this sense of this genius efficiency that you're coming into, Leo, where you're finding the way to make the absolute most out of everything, right? And you're feeling very proud of yourself, as you should, right? Because you're coming up with these really great ideas. But this is a time of manifesting when we see the Magician. So be sure that you have your focus and you're staying focused on what you want, because you're calling that into existence. Your thoughts are calling things into existence right now. The next card that's coming up for Leo is the Tower. And you might say, well, come on, Amethyst. I've got these positive cards. You're saying all this great stuff, and then I'm going to have the Tower come up? What is this nonsense, right? The Tower has a really negative reputation. People see the Tower, and they get very scared. I'm not surprised at all to see the Tower next to the Three of Wands and the Magician card, because the Tower basically means a permanent change where you're never going to go back to the old situation. You're never going to go back to the old scenario. And it's really, really pushing you out of your comfort zone. It's a permanent life change. And something that's pushing you out of your comfort zone, as I said. And a lot of the times, it has the element of the paradigm shift. Your paradigm is shifting. It's changing. You're seeing through the narrative that's been fed to you for so long. You're seeing through the illusion. There's an element of awakening and ascending with the Tower card. And the Magician can oftentimes come in with the energy of seeing through illusions, seeing through the smoke and mirrors. So Leo, you are finding ways around the red tape, so to speak. You are finding solutions to problems. You're seeing through false information that people have tried to convince you of or distract you with. You're seeing through the illusions, and you're seeing the truth. And you're coming into these permanent life changes that are pushing you out of your comfort zone. And this can be very positive things, like self-employment, a business taking off, reaching a very high level in your career, relocating, having a child, falling in love, meeting your, you know, your life partner, getting married. It's not always going to be doom and gloom. It's a permanent life change that where you can never go back to how things were. And there's a lot of positive things that fall into that category. But there's a sense of awakening here. When the Tower comes in terms of sudden chaos or something being removed from our life, it's like a cosmic prison break. Our angels and guides are tired of watching us suffer, and they want to keep us on schedule. They don't want us to fall out of the divine timing, and they need to speed things up and get us to where we need to be. And they'll come and they'll bust us out of that prison tower to free us. So even when it comes in that way, it comes in as an act of love, as an act of protection, and as an act of keeping you on the right track. But because of the Three of Wands and the Magician, I feel like a lot of you are already taking the steps. So you don't need Spirit to come in and bust you out of the tower. You're already taking the steps you're being guided to take. So the Tower in this sense is coming in with the awakening. Being pushed out of your comfort zone. Receiving these new experiences. Life never being the same ever again. Because you see things differently. You're doing things differently. You're believing in yourself. You're taking action. And you're seeing positive results. The next card that's coming up here for Leo is the Two of Wands. Now, Two of Wands can indicate those of you who are doing some kind of creative work or self-employment. The Two of Wands can indicate like partnerships, teaming up with somebody else, working with somebody else. Some of you may be coming into a collaboration. Some of you maybe were working with 3 people. You may be cutting somebody out and narrowing it down to you and someone else. There could be eliminating somebody from a collaboration for some of you. But the Two of Wands a lot of the times comes up for me when Spirit is saying that you really need to examine your choices and really examine and research what is being offered to you. A lot of the times I see the Two of Wands come up in a situation where a job that's being offered to you, or somebody wanting to work with you or collaborate with you, they are going to benefit from you a lot. They need you more than you need them. You're going to benefit them in a massive way. You have no idea. They know that you have no idea how beneficial you're going to be to them. And so they may lowball you. They may try to get a good deal out of it. And so Two of Wands tells me, do your research. Ask questions. See how other businesses are doing it, or how other people in that job title, what their responsibilities are, what the pay is, what is expected, what is the market value. Know these things going into the situation so that you can get the most for yourself, so that you're not getting lowballed. And the Two of Wands can come up for me a lot of the times when you're coming into dealing with other people and you need to really, really be sure that you're on the same page. Two of Wands for me can sometimes have that sense of expectation versus reality. You might have certain expectations and you're really excited, and then you get to the actual situation and you're in it and you're like, oh, well, now I'm disappointed. This isn't at all what I was expecting. And Two of Wands says you can definitely avoid that disappointment if you can make sure that you're going in on the same page, right? I've given these examples in the past with the Two of Wands, and I'll give them again because they're good examples. I don't focus on love and relationship in the weekly forecast. You guys know that, most of you. I do the love readings separately. The love readings for January are linked in the description. You can check them out. But we'll use the example of a romantic relationship. Somebody might be dating, and they may come across someone who says, you know, Leo, I really like you, and I really want to get to know you better, but, you know, I'm not ready to take things really fast, and I just really want to go slow right now and really just take our time to get to know each other. And you might think, oh yeah, absolutely, that sounds great. This person sounds like they're thinking maturely. They're not rushing into anything. It sounds like they're really taking dating seriously and a relationship seriously, and I don't want to rush into things either. And in your mind, you're thinking, okay, that just basically means we're not gonna, you know, push things along and try to be, you know, living together in 3 weeks, or, you know, getting engaged super fast. And that's cool. I'm on the same page. Meanwhile, you start dating this person and you're going on and on and on, and it's been 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months, and you're like, hey, like, so what are we? What's going on here? Like, what are we doing? Are we a couple? You know, like, do we have plans for the future? Like, what's going on? And that person might say, well, I told you that I'm just really trying to really make sure that I'm getting to know you, and it hasn't even been a year yet, and I don't know, and I told you from the beginning that I just really need to really be sure. Well, you know what? I'm sorry, but 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, 10 months is more than enough time to know if you see a future with somebody. You don't have to move in together at that point. You don't have to get married or engaged at that point. But you should know by then if you want that person to be your romantic partner. Before then even, right? You should know if you see a future with somebody. So it might be a good idea for you to ask questions and say, you know what, I totally agree with you. I don't want to rush into anything either. But what does that mean for you? What does that look like for you? What do you think is a acceptable time frame, you know, to figure things out or to know where things are headed? What kind of things do you want for your future? When you say take your time and really make sure that you're getting to know someone, do you mean really focusing on one person at a time? Do you mean getting to know different people and trying to compare and figure out, you know, which person you might want to focus on exclusively? What does that look like for you? What does that mean to you? Ask questions. You might have a friend that, you know, says, hey, you know what, I really would love for you to come and stay at my place. I've got an extra room. You don't have to pay rent. You can just come out and visit for a while, and you can go back to school, or you can work on, you know, getting that business going that you've been wanting to go. You just help me out around the house. And you might think, okay, that's great. And then you go, and all of a sudden, almost every night that week, they're coming home later and later from work, maybe not even coming home at all, and you're like, babysitter, you can't leave, you can't go anywhere, there's kids in the house. They might say, oh, well, you know, can you help me and get up on the roof and, you know, fix the leak or patch up the hole in the roof? You might say, oh, when you said helping you around the house, I thought you meant maybe I might vacuum, maybe I might do some dishes, maybe I might cook a meal here and there, but I'm not going to go up on the roof. So you have to ask questions. All right, sure, help around the house, that sounds great. What kinds of things would you need me doing? Or if they're helping you with, if you're helping with the kids, you know, how many hours a week would you say? What kind of things am I doing to help with the kids? You have to ask these specific questions. That way, you have the terms and an agreement going in, so you're not met with these unpleasant surprises. You may want to check out your moon sign, your rising sign, your Venus sign, because some weeks those, oh, I said Venus sign, but we're not talking about love in the weekly forecasts. But maybe those of you who are going to watch the love videos and who are focusing on love, might be a good idea for you to watch your Venus sign, not just your sun sign, those of you who are going to be checking out the love videos next. But be sure to check out your moon and your rising videos in the weekly forecasts. Some weeks those might resonate more than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you go to calendly.com/amethystangelite, you can schedule a private reading with me there. Don't forget, the 2022 forecasts are also linked in the description. Be sure to check those out as well. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I'm wishing you all a wonderful week ahead, and especially I'm wishing you a very, very, very happy new year. A happy 2022, my darlings. Take care and be well.